Good evening, welcome to Newsnight. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, here are stories making headlines tonight. Inspector General of Police promises students of the Islamic Senior High School in Kumasi that all their grievances will be addressed after he assessed at first hand the chaos witnessed at the school, which led to the hospitalization of dozens. Coming up, the opposition National Democratic Congress NDC vows to prosecute persons found culpable of running the KOMENDA sugar factory down when voted into power. The Food and Drugs Authority has established that food served at MARWAKO restaurant, which caused public uproar on social media, were heavily contaminated. And later on the international front, a Ukrainian artillery strike on a market in the Russian-backed separatist Ukrainian region of Donetsk kills at least 3 people, including a child, injuring 4 in the process. Details are coming up shortly. Stay with us. Welcome once again. Calm has returned to the campus of the Islamic Senior High School in Kumasi following a disturbance which occurred this morning after police fired some tear gas and live ammunition to disperse students who went on rampage to drum home their concerns. The Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufudampare, has promised to conduct investigations into the circumstances that led to the police clash with the students of the school.
Student when he visited the school and the students who were injured at the various hospitals, the IGP said actions that need to be taken will be taken following an investigation to resolve the matter. Dr. Akufudampare said they want professionalism to prevail so that the people who are supposed to be protected are not put at risk. The IGP also advised the student not to bypass authorities whether they want to take any actions. He, however, donated 10 speed ramp ropes to the school for it to be fixed on the road.
It is heartwarming that we've come to see the extent of the incident, and each and every one of you are doing well. And all those who for one reason or the other, mostly according to the doctors, as a result of shock and related matters, who were rushed to the various hospitals that we've gone to see that are doing so well. It just gladdens our heart because each and every one of you has been brought to this world to accomplish a particular purpose for which no other person can do it.
On his part, the headmaster of the school, Suleiman Yeboah, said the highway authorities has promised to fix the speed ramps in 2 weeks. He also indicated that none of the students was hit by a bullet when they visited the various hospitals where they have been admitted.
We will forever be grateful to the IGP for donating from his own pocket 10 drops for them to start putting it on the road tomorrow. So IGP, Islamic Senior High School is grateful to you, and we will forever do.
Meanwhile, the administrator of the Centreso Government Hospital, Alex Bugri, said the condition of 22 students rushed to the hospital have been stabilized. He said only one of the students who had some cut on the head has been referred to the Konfuanochi Teaching Hospital.
You're still watching Newsnight here on Metro Television. Now, meanwhile, Fix the Country campaigners are demanding an end to the deployment of armed police personnel during school demonstrations that is in connection with the one that happened in Kumasi. This comes after a backlash of a chaotic incident between the police and students of the Islamic Senior High School at Abrepo in the Ashanti region, demonstrating were frequent road accidents in front of the school. The group is also demanding an independent probe into allegations of recent police and military brutalities. We'll be speaking to a security analyst on the demands of the group, but first, here are some alleged security personnel brutalities in recent times. Right, and it says on 22nd October 2018, following a protest by the students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, scores of heavily armed soldiers were deployed to KNUST and the school was shut down indefinitely. On 27th October 2019, law students peacefully demonstrating against lack of access at the Ghana Law School and were allegedly attacked by the Ghana Police Service at Sankara overpass in Accra with tear gas and rubber bullets. 2 people were injured. No investigations into the incident were carried out. On 1st July 2020, students at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, SHS, who were demonstrating after a student who had been denied medical assistance died, were attacked by the Ghana Police Service with tear gas. No investigations into the incident were carried out. On 19th July 2021, a joint military and police team went into St. Louis Senior High School in Kumasi to beat up students. Despite police denials, students reported that when the military and police entered the school, they entered the dormitories and started beating them because they refused to stop screaming. After the media reported the incident, the police service issued a press statement denying the accounts of the students. They claimed that the military officers only went to the school to watch what was going on. No investigations were carried out and no one was held accountable for the incident. On the same day, a joint military and police team also intervened in a school incident at the Kumasi Girls Senior High School, where they were accused of assaulting the senior high school students. According to the students, they were lashed with sticks by the soldiers. After the media reported the incident, the police service issued a press statement denying the accounts of the students. No investigations were carried out, and no one was held accountable for the incidents. On 27th May 2021, several female boarding students were brutalized by police officers at Glory Senior High School, a second cycle institution in the Upper East region. According to reports, no investigations were carried out and no one was held accountable for the incident. Let's stay on this issue, and I've been joined via Zoom by security analyst Adib Sani for more. Adib, good evening. Welcome to the show. As you rightly saw, if you were monitoring, we've outlined some demonstration or brutalities meted out by the police to students, and yet, in all cases, it looks like they go scot-free. Do you think this incident will also suffer the same fate?
Highly likely. And I'm excited that you did that presentation of the number of cases we have witnessed over the period. And like you rightly mentioned, the common theme that cuts across is impunity. If it is not nipped in the bud, there's absolutely no way this can stop. We will talk about it. Perhaps after 72 hours, it will die down, and we will wait patiently for another incident to occur, and we can't talk about it again. So until we address the fundamental issues, one of it being impunity, we would continue seeing this happening over and over again.
Right.
We know full well that there are stages of response. And the force you use should be commensurate with the threat assessment done. And when the police arrive, what they are even supposed to do first is to establish a channel of communication between the police on one hand and the protest leaders. So an effort is made to de-escalate. However, there's always a propensity to use force on the part of the police because a lot of officers feel that without the use of such force, there's absolutely no way you can manage protests. And I think that is unfortunate. And everybody would agree that the police did an abysmal job on this occasion.
Right.
Like all the others that you've catalogued.
Right. And one thing that is most striking is that in the press statement that the police released, they never admitted to brutalizing the students, but eyewitness accounts say otherwise.
We all saw it play out on TV, on social media. Students were collapsing. Some, like your reports rightly mentioned, got hurt. A lot of them were sent to the hospital. So what really happened? How did it happen? Okay, the information I received suggests that even when the police succeeded in dispersing the students from the streets, they followed them up to the classrooms and assaulted some of them allegedly. Okay, and that is quite unfortunate. Even the use of tear gas could have resulted in a life getting, lost. You don't know who might have a health condition. And if you have inhaled tear gas before, you would know what I'm talking about. It feels like your lungs is collapsing. So it could have actually been worse. Unfortunately, we all saw what happened, and I'm hoping that this should be the very last time. I'm also hoping that an independent investigation would be done and we'll deal with the fundamental issues. And the other issues include the need for the training regime to be upgraded, the need for officers to be given the necessary logistics, and most importantly, the need for accountability. Because I always say that when things continue happening this way, it destroys the police, because it makes a lot more Ghanaians lose confidence in the work of the police. And without the citizens, without you and I, the police can't do nothing. They cannot fulfill their mandate. That is why they have to harness their relationship with the citizenry based on mutual trust and respect. How do they achieve that? By acting professionally and by holding their officers accountable if they do the wrong thing.
Right.
And that is what is missing at this critical point in time.
Right. Help us understand why the police will even use such force on senior high school students.
Well, like I indicated, when the police get there, they do what we call a risk assessment or situational threat assessment, okay? And that the force they use should be commensurate with that risk, okay? And we have stages. They can use batons, they can use, what's it called? Shields to push back the protesters. They can even de-escalate, okay? But the worst case scenario would be the use of live ammunition. I'm not positive that live ammunition was used, but I'm just, citing examples, okay? But before you even get to live ammunition, you might have to use rubber bullets and all that. So at all times, it should be commensurate with the threat. Unfortunately, there's that propensity on the part of some officers to come to every protest site with that commando spirit, okay? The only way out is to scatter, and I don't think that helps. When you look critically at the number of protests and the police response that occurred, you would realize that they could have done a much more better work, like the case of this student. So I find it quite unfortunate. Fine, the lives of the police could also be in danger, but I strongly doubt that the force they used on this occasion merited the situation based on that analysis
Right.
they did before even applying it in the first place.
It doesn't look like there's no end in sight to these police brutalities anytime soon, does it?
Absolutely not. Until we deal with the fundamental issues. We are very accustomed to the IGP going to the area and assuring the people the right thing would be done. We are used to the templates of putting together a committee of inquiry in the end, which amounts to nothing, like the case of the war military brutalities. The report is an insult to the conscience of every Ghanaian, you know, and the fact that nobody is going to be seriously held to account shows there's no commitment whatsoever on the part of the police, on the part of government, on the part of nobody. And until something is done about it, unfortunately, tomorrow we might have to talk about the same issue.
Indeed. Adib Sani, thank you very much for speaking to us tonight. He's a security analyst. Away from that, some driver unions and passengers in Sunyani took to the streets to protest what they termed as dangerous roads within the municipality. Their action started around 10 a.m. on Monday morning at YAWHIMA through the principal street of Sunyani to the Regional Coordinating Directorate. There's more in the following report filed by our Bono regional correspondent Ibrahim Abodi.
From Sunyani through to Techiman, Kintampo, and many other communities is in a complete disastrous state. The road was said to have been under construction for 5 years now. However, there is nothing like improvement throughout these years. Currently, the untarred roads have developed into potholes, making it difficult for motorists to ply. Drivers who ply the road say there have been numerous efforts to get the road fixed, but it has not been successful. They blamed the government for not listening to their plight. The concerned drivers' union, passengers and some residents took to the street on Monday morning to register their displeasure over the situation. Numbering over thousands, the demonstrators marched from YAWHIMA to the Bono Regional Coordinating Directorate. They are, however, urging government to fix the road or face their wrath.
We saw that our road from Chinai throughout to Techiman, KOTOKROM, YAWHIMA, and surrounding areas, Nidoma, which is amount, is very, very poor. Since 8 years ago, and even 2020, the road was constructed that there are a year of road, but up to date, it has not been done.
Let's bring in more stories tonight as the Minority Caucus of the Trade, Industry and Tourism Committee is demanding for an immediate operationalization of the KOMENDA sugar factory. According to the caucus, government has given too many timelines but has failed to get the factory operational. The caucus has also warned that the future NDC government will prosecute persons whose underhand dealings have caused the factory's inability to operate. Our Central Regional Correspondent Akosiado has more in the fuller report.
Minority members of the committee visited the factory to ascertain for themselves its current state and later held a community engagement with the people of KOMENDA. Ranking member on the Trade, Industry and Tourism Committee of Parliament, Emmanuel Amakufibua, described as deliberate the attempt by the MPP government to leave the factory inoperative since assuming office in 2017. He said the narrative being told Ghanaians that the NDC administration made no provision for the growing of sugarcane to feed the factory is false. According to him, about $24 million in a form of loan from the Indian Exim Bank was earmarked to cater for the growing of 60% of the total sugarcane that would be needed to feed the factory by outgrowers, as well as 40% that would have been cultivated by the factory's farmers. But the present administration failed to assess the facility. Emmanuel Amakufibua also said before the NDC exited power, every arrangement to keep the factory running had been done.
A factory was built, that indeed a planned outgrowers were put in place with a sugarcane fat both from the factory and outgrowers, a sustained program to basically let the factory operate. And today it is very, very clear. We have testimonies from people who participated in this exercise, who have, quite frankly, been waiting and hoping that the factory will operate, that government will really support them to grow sugarcane.
For these residents, including Francis Atipo, who has worked at the factory in both the old and the new era, the inability of the factory to run has caused severe unemployment and hardship situation in the area.
I ain't tornado commander shampoo. Tornado won't talk. I want you to be so sugar factory so way ya. And I yank at Siama, and I meant Siama, ye be a BIA, ma assume jabu cream.
We did not have sufficient sugar cane to run for the 6 months. Normally we ran for 6-7 months, then we shut down. The old factory, that was what was happening. Because we cannot harvest during the rainy season. If you harvest during the rainy season, you will not get the sugar content in the sugar. It will all turn to molasses.
Meanwhile, former Deputy Attorney General and a member of the committee, Dr. Dominic Ayine, has warned that a future NDC government will prosecute persons who would be found to have engaged in underhand dealings and contributed to the factory's inability to operate for causing financial loss to the state. He does not understand why a factory that was recently valued at $12 million, even though its actual value stood at $40 million, is left to rot.
The ranking member made it patently clear that they undervalued the factory that was built with $50 million. They undervalued it at $12 million, and they are doing so in order to sell it off, for a song. That is unacceptable. From an accounting point of view, that is causing financial loss to the state. Again, the fact that the factory was left to rot, and for many years, nothing was done, and they had to borrow money in order to refurbish it. That again, from an accounting point of view, is causing financial loss to the state. And the next NDC government in 2025 will be prosecuting those who are responsible for the causing of financial loss to the state in respect of the KOMENDA sugar factory.
Stay with us because we have more news for you coming up after the break. You're welcome back. If you just joined us, this is Newsnight on Metro Television with me, Kenneth. Jesse, let's bring you more stories as the Food and Drugs Authority has established that food served at 3 branches of MARWAKO restaurant were heavily contaminated. The regulatory authority in a statement also cited poor storage practices and improper handling of food at a restaurant, which caused food poisoning.
12 customers of the restaurant took to social media, some with pictorial evidence of sufferings from foodborne diseases after consuming food from MARWAKO. The angry customers threatened to sue the company. The Food and Drugs Authority immediately launched an investigation into the incident while suspending activities at 3 of its branches. Per its investigations, the FDA discovered that the East Legon, Abelinkpe, and La branches of MARWAKO failed to adhere to food safety practices. It is said the presence of heavy microbial load in the food item examined can be linked to the several reported cases of food poisoning. While the branches remain closed, the FDA has assured the public it will continue to monitor activities at MARWAKO to ensure it complies with the regulatory body set rules.
Let's to stay on this and speak to Mohammed Amin Lamte. He's a PRO at MARWAKO restaurant. Mohammed, good evening. Welcome to Newsnight. Your restaurant has been found guilty of food poisoning. How do you respond to that?
Thank you very much for having me. The issue about the restaurant has been found guilty. I think that you raised it to a different level. In as much as FDA is the authority, to investigate any issue related to what happened, yes, we respect them as the authority. But I raise the issue that sometimes test the decision that they took. Probably we can even call for an independent investigation regarding what they have discovered about what happened. If you look at the paragraph in their statement, they say that the process to establish the root cause of the contamination has been unfortunately hampered by the unapproval and unilateral decision by management. So if this is one of the concluding aspects of their statement, it means that the discovery that they did, that they've quoted in the beginning of their statement could be contestable. But we are saying from MARWAKO Fast Food Limited, we have seen a lot of challenges. As I'm speaking to you now, our Chief Executive Officer, he has...
Hello, Mohammed.
Yes, marijuana has been taken out of the country because of the challenges. It's true. We know that FDA is in charge of making sure to make sure Ghanaians are protected. But we believe that the kind of discussions that we had with FDA, some of these releases that they dropped, it's quite a bit disturbing. It can easily destroy the brand and the marketability of MARWAKO. If you look at the story that your reporter just read a while ago, the contamination was not at the 3 branches that he mentioned in the report. It was only the Abelemkpe East Legon branch. The Abelemkpe branch.
Hello, Mohammed. Can you hear me?
And so the point that smart with FDA with what they have done, I think that we have seen this as an eye opener.
Okay.
We're going to reposition ourselves and the right things should be done.
Right. Mohammed, help me understand this. Are you saying that MARWAKO restaurant disagrees with the FDA?
Undoubtedly, we have the right, constitutionally, we have the right to contest any decision that has been taken. But I'm saying that we may say it, but we don't mean it. We are just trying to express our views and opinion on what happened. Because if they have discovered that these are the things that they've seen and say that these are the contaminations, and they themselves are also saying that the process to establish root cause, of the contamination has been unfortunately hampered, by the unapproval and unilateral decision by the management. It means that what they have discovered is quite a bit questionable. And that is why we are saying that we could even request for an independent investigation.
Right.
But other than that, we, MARWAKO, believe that this is just an eye-opener.
Right.
It's going to help us position ourselves. FDA itself has indicated that they're going to monitor MARWAKO Fast Food Limited. They have access to facilities. We've done that. We're hoping that in the next few weeks, we're going to open all our, assure our customers that what will...
Mohammed, you were, among others, accused of improper handling of food. Take me to a MARWAKO kitchen. How is food handled there?
My brother, in every human endeavor, as I'm speaking to you, I've indicated when this thing happened on countless media outlets. I was admitted at testing for 28 years for food poisoning. Do it deliberately. We all know that restaurants have these challenges. Some of the ingredients, the items that we use for this business, my brother, some of them, they are only one day old. When you use them today, you cannot repeat them the next day. Some of them, when you put them in the freezer, when you bring them out, that is the end of their, So the point that I'm trying to make here is that FDA has done a yeoman's job. We agree with them. We are partners. We hope.
Okay. Mohammed Lamte, thank you very much for speaking to us tonight. He's a PRO at MARWAKO Restaurant. Let's go to the ruling New Patriotic Party because the MPP has opened filing of nomination for its prospective aspirants for the upcoming national executive elections. 3 candidates, Justin Frimpong Kudia, Stephen Intim, and Kate Jemfua, have so far submitted their nomination forms indicating their readiness to contest for various positions. total of 50 aspirants picked their nomination forms and are expected to submit their forms from June 13 to 15 to contest various positions in the upcoming national executive elections. Other notable party members, including incumbent General Secretary John Boadu, Professor Ameyaw Ekumfi, and Charles Bissiu, have also declared their intentions to occupy some executive positions. Since the opening of the filing of the nomination forms today, June 13, only 3 persons have so far filed for their candidature to contest. At exactly 10:45 a.m. Monday morning, Justin Kodua, with his teeming supporters, thronged the party headquarters to file his nomination form. He was taken through the necessary process with the election officers of the party to ensure documents have been endorsed. The MPP General Secretary hopeful, Justin Kodua, is very optimistic he will win.
Our party have always trusted the delegates. At every material moment, they know the leadership that should run the affairs of the party, and going around the country, selling my messages to them and listening to the feedback from the party executives. I'm very positive that come July 17th, the next time you interview me, you'll be interviewing me as the General Secretary-elect of the New Patriotic Party.
The next person to file nomination form is the incumbent women organizer, who sent all the 16 regional women organizers to file on her behalf. The Savannah Region Women Organizer, Hajia Mohammed, who spoke for the 16 regional organizers, said it will be suicidal for the party if delegates failed to maintain the incumbent national women organizer, Kate Jemfua.
Making the 8 is not a slogan, and we know with Mama Kate, inshallah, we are going to break the 8. Considering the percentage of women representative in Ghana, we represent 52% of the Ghanaian population, which means that the bedrock of every political party, to a larger percentage, lies on women. We are with her, and we are so confident that inshallah, come 2024, the break the 8 will not be a slogan. It's a danger.
A former chairman hopeful, Stephen Intim, arrived at the party headquarters with enthusiastic party supporters cheering him on. He is hoping he will be elected as the party's chairman after successive defeats. He was also taken through the necessary process with the election officers of the party to ensure all the documents have been fully endorsed.
I will make it my cardinal objective to make sure that there is unity in all these constituencies and package all of them to join the rest of the party in unison to break the 8 in 2024. Give me 100 days after making me the chairman, and I'm going to make sure that there is unity in all those affected constituencies.
Away from the MPP, commuters on the Accra-Tema motorway road have expressed worry over the vehicular traffic on the stretch. While some people Metro News spoke with say the situation is unbearable, others have argued and urged authorities to find alternative route for them as work on the road continues.
Now, maintenance work has finally begun on the Accra-Tema motorway, and this is expected to last for 3 weeks. As you can see behind me, you can see the men busily trying to break some of the concrete in order to make way for the reconstruction of this part of the stretch. That is a bridge that is connecting the motorway to the other side of the road. And amidst this construction ongoing, there is a heavy traffic to my left-hand side, where you can see commuters from either side of the road experiencing a lot of traffic on this road.
Oh, at least you bet me the 20 minutes I travel to my motorway. I could be 1.5 hours and traffic need the.
We are happy with this development, but we wish that this would be done in the night, because at that time this place would not be busy as it is.
What I say, one way,
we have nothing to say. We can only endure this traffic.
I think the elders in Ghana, they are not doing their work at all.
I'm disappointed. I thought this could be done on a Sunday, really. You don't agree? It could be done on a Sunday because the traffic is not as intense on a weekend, right? What are we doing?
While some commuters think that this situation is a worrying situation on the Tema-Accra motorway due to the heavy traffic on it, Others are of the view that it is a time to cash in money. Definitely, this is how the traffic situation is going to be for the next 3 weeks. That is if the contractors will be able to meet the deadline that they've scheduled for themselves. Reporting for Metro News, Elvis Ando, Metro TV, Accra, Tema Motorway.
Thank you, Elvis. Now, National President of the National Service Personnel Association, Emmanuel Brimpon Akosa, is advocating for an increment in their monthly allowances from 559 Ghana cedis to 800 Ghana cedis or 1,000.
One thing we've been saying and one thing we've been advocating for is an increment of allowance. Last year, during our NASPA week celebration in Takoradi, we pleaded on government to do something about the increment of our allowance, because the last time allowances was increased was somewhere 2017 from 350 to 559 that we are taking now. And we can all ask ourselves and attest to the fact that the value of 559 in 2017 is not the same as the value of 559 in 2022. If government can heed to our demands in increasing our allowance, the least thing they can do is to delay personal allowance to avoid any undue hardship on our people. As I said, someone living in Kaswa has to take transportation from Kaswa to ministries in and out. That person could spend like 20 cedis, 30 cedis a day only on transportation, aside rent, aside electricity bill, water bill, and other stuffs. So all what we are saying is for personnel to have a very meaningful life, something they can fall on and feel comfortable. We are demanding somewhere from 800 cedis to 1,000 Ghana cedis as NSP.
Let's take you back to our earlier story where over 22 million seedlings were distributed during Ghana's Green Ghana Day. This, according to the Forestry Commission, is encouraging because the Commission had earlier targeted a distribution figure of 20 million.
I don't think currently we can expect more from government because of austerity. When government said that government was going to cut expenditure by 30%, I know that 30% has affected even the Green Ghana project. So 9 million, you realize that 6 million has been released. So that is the 30%. So we all have to work within our means. We accept that with COVID, times are hard now. And we are also doing that. But then, gradually, as we move year on, we are perfecting. It's economies of scale. Sometimes, although you are doing more, the actual unit cost will then start coming down. Yeah, so that is, I think, what is happening now. The 6 million Ghana cedis, though not enough, but though not enough, yes, but then we have to manage, and we've managed. So now we've completed it. We're still waiting for more donations from the media, from you media, from the corporate bodies, CSOs, and then private individuals. Once they bring it in, we'll use some to pay or defray of some of the costs. For instance, seedling cost on an average 3 Ghana cedis for a seedling. That's how much it costs. The coconut you saw people holding along the road. You know, those who pick the coconut seedlings, you know a coconut seedling, one costs 12 cedis. Yes, one costs 12 cedis. Yes, but we've been able to do this. So I think we have to be commended for doing such a yeoman's job. Right now, we are getting up and running to make sure we are able to monitor and then nurture them, make sure they grow, and make sure we have a better survival rate, more than the that we had.
We return from the break with the latest in business. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Newsnight Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. And now to our first business story. The Development Bank of Ghana, DBG, has a capital structure of nearly $800,000 with the main goal to transform the nation's economy by providing competitive loans to small and medium-scale enterprises in Ghana. The bank is set to be launched on the 14th of June 2022, as announced by the CEO at the press briefing in Accra.
The Development Bank of Ghana is a development finance institution or a development bank. UDGB pursues a wholesale banking business model that provides funding to eligible financial institutions to lend to Ghanaian businesses in targeted industry sectors. Speaking at a press briefing ahead of the launch, the Chief Executive Officer of the Development Bank of Ghana, KOMENDA, expressed optimism on the impact DBG will have on the nation's economy.
Tuesday, the 14th of June, 2022, marks an important milestone in our journey, and it's a result of many months and years of hard work from the DBG Task Force and Working Group, our staff, and our partners. However, tomorrow is no time to be complacent. We have an enormous task ahead of us, one that I and the DBG team take as a sacred task. We want to do it differently. We have partnered with CalBank, CBG, GCB, Fidelity, Standard Chartered, and we are looking forward to seeing the benefits of these relationships over time.
He further added that the mandate of the Development Bank of Ghana provides opportunity to take loans at cheaper rates.
The gap in the manufacturing sector for SMEs alone is 115 billion Ghana cedis. It will be extremely difficult for any one institution to fill that gap. And that is why DBG is mandated to do the difficult things first, which is build collaborative unions with the banking sector, with our other PFIs, to ensure that together we amplify and leverage our ability to lend. And we can then make sure that we can get the money at a rate that allows our SMEs to grow.
The Development Bank of Ghana will be partnering with the Ghana Stock Exchange, Ghana Enterprise Agency, Monetary Authority of Singapore, Standard Chartered Bank, Association of Ghana Industries, and the UN Global Compact.
Now, finance and investment consultant and MP for the Nshieso constituency in the Ashanti region, Dr. Stephen Amoah, has charged the country to move away from being an import-dependent economy to being an export-driven one. This, he believes, will shape the country's economy for the better and going forward.
On the sidelines of the Financial Economic Seminar Ghana 2022, Dr. Stephen Amoah bemoans the country's continuous dependence on imports has led to the country's economic downturns. He charged the private sector to be export-driven.
It is time we actually made the right step and take the corrective measures and make sure that we work on them, and practically in measurement we get results, because we can't continue to be depending on other markets and be import driven. We cannot do that. It is impossible. Because if the private sector cannot produce what we demand, we are always compelled to actually import from outside. So when there's a problem on foreign markets, it affects us. We cannot also employ people because government does not produce chaliwati. Government does not buy and sell. Government cannot create the needed value chain to employ people. And government cannot produce what we need to meet the aggregate demand. So it is time we honestly solved most of these problems practically. And it cannot be solved by one government. It cannot be solved by one person. All stakeholders must come on board.
Professor Emeritus Stephen Ade, a guest speaker at the event, blamed corruption, among other things, as one of the driving forces behind the country's economic woes.
That'll be all for business here on News 9. My name is Winston Taki. We're back with sports after this break. Stay tuned.
My name is Phil John Kwasi, and it's time for your sports. Let's go straight to the Egyptian capital, Cairo, where South African coach Pitso Mosimane has parted ways with Egyptian club Al Ahly.
Pitso Mosimane has left Egyptian giants Al Ahly by mutual consent 3 months after signing a new 2-year deal as head coach. The South African led the Cairo side to 2 Champions League titles after joining in 2020, but the side lost this season's final to Wydad Casablanca. The 57-year-old also secured 2 consecutive third-place finishes at the Club World Cup, including the 2021 edition played in February. The decision to part ways was reached following a meeting held by Al Ahly president Mahmoud El Khatib and other members of the club's planning committee. A statement read, Al Ahly and the coach have reached an agreement to part ways. Mahmoud El Khatib, the club's president, held a meeting with Yassine Mansour, the chair of Al Ahly Football Company, Hossam Ghali, the club's board member, and the planning committee members to discuss Mosimane's future with the club. They decided he should continue his mission with Al Ahly as a result of the achievements he has managed. However, during the meeting that was previously held, Mosimane requested to leave and said that he is satisfied with the achievements he has accomplished at the club. Mosimane's decision was discussed and it was decided to approve his request to part ways with the club and thank him for his achievements with Al Ahly.
We're back here in Ghana after securing the 25th title of the Ghana Premier League. Head coach of Asante Kotoko, Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum, who praised the team for their efforts during the coronation ceremony, believed that the team must build upon their performance in their next chapter.
Amazing people. From nowhere, we've gotten to somewhere. And I think it's because of their discipline, their commitment to the cause. I think that has actually brought us to where we are. And so I doff my hat for them. I'm proud of them. And I want to tell them that they have done really well. I equal to them.
Dr. Nate Prosper Odo is in charge of KOTOKROM, speaking after they secured the 25th title of the Ghana Premier League. My name is Phil John Kwasi. Up next is Entertainment News.
My name is Esiodua Akumi and it's time for Entertainment News. Earlier on Entertainment Review, Ghanaian actress Lydia Forson expressed how she feels about trending often on social media due to her reactions towards the current situation in Ghana.
Like, one, I don't like to trend.
Really?
Look, let me tell you something.
Today's date is.
I don't. I'll be with my mom, right? And my mom was like, someone said that, you wrote something. But I'm sitting here with you and like, there's nothing that shows that, you've...
Why yes?
No, it's not that. You see, I'm always shocked. I've never paid anybody for PR or anything, ever. Like when I come online and I'm trending, I'm like, what did I say? Because I feel like everybody is having a conversation, and then I join in, and then why do people care about my opinion?
Yeah.
I don't really think too deeply about these things. If anything at all, I'm very, over the years, cautious about the things that I say.
But that's it for Entertainment News. My name is Esiodua Akumi. Kenneth?
Thank you very much, Esiodua. International News is next. At least 3 people, including a child, have been killed and 4 others injured in what local separatist media say was a Ukrainian artillery strike on a market in the Russian-backed separatist Ukrainian region of Donetsk. That's all time will allow for this edition of Newsnight. We came to you live from our studios here at Northridge in Accra. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, have a good night.